Welcome to Uncommon Sense. This is Jay Howard along with Michael B. Wright, better known as Big Brother Mo Better. What's up, Big Brother Mo Better?
I'm doing fine there, Big Brother Rock.
You're doing fine, man. You're doing fine on this Uncommon Sense night that we have here, my brother.
Hey, man. As long as I'm 6 feet above the ground, I can make it happen, player.
That's right, player. You can make it happen on Uncommon Sense right here on the TrueVision.net and also SenseUX.com. Bruh, you talking about some uncommon sense, though.
I can't help you.
I mean, I don't even know we can make sense out of this stuff, man.
I can't help you. I'm moving to Ghana.
Are you moving to Ghana?
I can't help you. I'm done.
Dude, I'm moving somewhere.
Bro.
Over the rainbows.
Well, they bring in South Africa to you, so you can't go to South. They bring in South Africa to you, Blair.
Wow. Yeah, they bring in South Africa to me and putting them in homes and everything.
Oh yeah, wow. Man. God, it must be nice.
Must be nice, brother. Must be nice.
That boy.
Well, brother, I
love
guess
to see that coming.
Ooh, what? I would love to see that too.
Those accommodations, buddy. But anyway, yes, sir.
Yeah. All right, buckle up, Buttercup. Here we go.
To the store. Here we go.
Now I heard this morning, right? I was like, say
what? It wasn't that.
The $5 million settlement. Who knows? Okay, a settlement. So that means somebody had to ask for some money somewhere. To the family of the January 6th rioter, Ashli Babbitt. Okay. The key word is rioter.
That would be the key word for me.
So if I am a rioter, you mean I could get $5 million for being a rioter?
I think I'm gonna say I was up there. How they gonna how they gonna know?
Now the family asked for $30 million.
Yeah.
But the Trump administration said, "Oh, we'll give you $5 million." Right?
I'm trying to see why she gets a settlement. But anyway, carry on.
Anyway, we we got to run this beautiful beam footage on this one because this does not make any sense at all. But who are we? But Jay and Mike right here on Uncommon Sense.
The Chief of Police of the United States Capitol Police Force clearly and plainly said, and I support the position, that the settlement was a slap in the face to the hardworking, courageous, and brave men and women of the United States Police Force.
The family of Ashli Babbitt, who was killed during the January 6th Capitol riot, has reached a settlement in their lawsuit. The Justice Department agreed to pay nearly $5 million to Babbitt's family. Babbitt was fatally shot by Capitol Police while trying to enter the Speaker's lobby during the Capitol's storming on January 6 of 2021. The lawsuit accused Lieutenant Michael Byrd of negligence and failure to de-escalate. The family argued Babbitt was unarmed and posed no threat. Capitol Police Chief Tom Manger expressed his disagreement with the Justice Department's decision to settle. He said he was extremely disappointed. Manger added an earlier review found the officers' actions were lawful and within department policy. Babbitt's family had originally sought $30 million in the wrongful death lawsuit.
Now, $5 million for a rioter, giving it to the family. This does not make any sense here.
Again, Jay Howard, I'm not the sharpest tool in the shed. I got a question.
Okay.
When they say that captain did not de-escalate the situation, I'm trying to see how that one brother is going to de-escalate a situation with a mob of rioters.
He can't. The only way is the way that he did.
That's my that's my actually, man. Again, now according to your boys, that was not a riot. That was a love fest. That's what the words he used. It was a love fest.
I love that.
So
okay. Since we going there, and
that's what he said.
That's what he said.
That's
right?
what he said. It's a love fest.
Well, let's take a look at the love fest to make sure that's what it was. Okay. So let's do that.
I'm with you.
Were you afraid that day?
I was very afraid.
Are you afraid now? Going
I
forward?
I am afraid because I know there's people that disagree with my actions on January the 6th. But I hope they understand I did my job. And there was imminent threats and danger to the members of Congress.
In the chaotic minutes before Lieutenant Michael Byrd shot and killed rioter Ashli Babbitt, a cascade of alarming messages crackled through his police radio.
He yells for help and, officer down and screaming as they're being assaulted.
This video from inside the House chamber captures Byrd instructing members of Congress to don gas masks.
We had a disbursement of tear gas in the rotunda.
Then, instructions to prepare for the worst.
I'd ask them to remove their pins, to remove their jackets, to look like staff as much as possible, and to seek shelter by staying down below their chairs.
Soon, a horde of demonstrators stormed up the stairs to the House chamber.
There's a gun! He's got a gun! He's got a gun!
Byrd is seen taking a defensive posture with his gun drawn.
I didn't even realize I had been yelling and screaming as loud as I was. Please stop, get back, stop.
We see your arm out there for a considerable amount of time.
Yes.
Were you wavering?
I was, again, taking a tactical stance. You're ultimately hoping that your commands will be complied with, and unfortunately they were not.
What did you think this individual was doing at that moment?
She was posing a threat to United States House of Representatives.
But an attorney for Ashli Babbitt's family disputes that. He did not respond to our request for a comment, but in a previous statement said Babbitt was not brandishing a weapon, not in close proximity to members of Congress, and was not an imminent threat of death or serious injury to anyone.
Based on your training, in that case, does it matter that the person was armed or not?
According to law, it does not. I know based on my training and my policy, what I did was appropriate.
Multiple investigations have now upheld Byrd's actions on January 6th.
Have you continued to question your actions that day?
I knew that day. I followed my training, and I spent countless years preparing for such a moment. You ultimately hope that moment never occurs, but you prepare as best you can. I know that day I saved countless lives.
If Ashli Babbitt's family is watching this, is there anything you would say to them?
What I would like to say is to all the families from January the 6th that their family members receive injury or loss of life, as my heart goes out to them. I'm sorry for their loss and what they're dealing with. And I pray that they find peace and comfort.
Okay. We're going to stop right there.
It was a love fest.
That's a love fest, bro.
That's what he said. And all of them got cleared, so I guess it was.
Right.
But you knew this day was coming. The moment he put Bondi in there, you knew this day was coming.
Oh yeah.
So,
and of course it was
not surprised, but now
by Trump, of course.
Oh yeah. You knew it's gonna happen because this is a win for the MAGAs. That's what this is.
Right.
And again, for the captain or for the chief of the Capitol Police to say that this right here, this ain't right, y'all. That says a lot, man. Again, when you're looking at the dynamics and semantics of it, and where we are here, and to see how this thing plays out, and to say that that was not an insurrection or that wasn't a riot, that wasn't chaotic, I don't see what they were looking at. I mean, but them your boys. And now you got your boy Patel coming out saying, Cash Patel saying they got inside information and then found out stuff that there was some possible agents or sources of the FBI that was there inciting these riots. And y'all gonna find that out shortly.
Okay. Yeah, all right.
I'm just saying that's what your boy Cash said.
The
so
brother,
stay tuned.
Well, see, this brother has already been cleared. It says that he's been tried several times on this event and has been cleared. And but you give a rioter $5 million. The family of the rioter. Let me put it like
that. I'm still trying to see what their case is.
Exactly.
I mean, that one.
They didn't go to court. Now remember, they didn't go to court.
That part. That's what I'm saying. This is wild. But I mean, you see your Department of Justice. So I'm just simply saying, are you surprised when you see who is heading up your Department of Justice at this point?
No, I'm not surprised. Not surprised at all. No.
And it sets a precedent, man, again for everybody else in the semantics, because again they've been pardoned. So it does set up a legal windstorm, man. If those cats want to go down that road with this,
right,
they can.
Right now, you give the rioters' family $5 million. Now here's someone doing their job as a representative, Representative McIver. She was doing her job, but you bring charges against her,
and this surprises you.
No, it don't surprise me, but I'm like,
okay,
common sense of it, you know.
Yeah, buddy.
And to run the beautiful beam footage here, let's run it and then let's discuss it.
The Justice Department filed charges Monday against a Democratic member of Congress, Congresswoman LaMonica McIver of New Jersey. DOJ is accusing her now of assaulting and interfering with law enforcement during a confrontation with Homeland Security officers outside an ICE detention center in Newark earlier this month.
I think the charges are absurd. You know, it's ridiculous. I was there to do my job along with my other colleagues. We have done this before. This is our obligation to do. It's in our job description to have oversight over a facility, and the entire situation was escalated by ICE. The reason why we were there is because we wanted to make sure this facility was up to par, that it was clean, that it was safe, and that the detainees there were, you know, given due process, that they were able to use the phone, that they were able to speak to their legal representation, which we found out was not happening. We were there to conduct an oversight visit, which after all of this chaos, they gave us a tour. You know, we were all of this, we broke in, we assaulted people, all of these things that, you know, HABA is saying and Republicans are saying, but they gave us a tour and allowed us to go in and tour the facility and speak to detainees. I would not have done anything different.
Wow. Brother.
Welcome to the Twilight Zone.
Welcome to the Twilight Zone, right?
You're here, player. You're right here in it. Yep. So again, what's happening, Doc, is you move into an authoritative regime, is what you had to.
Yeah.
Because again, Congress is supposed to have oversight of this stuff. The way they're running now, ISIS, Homeland Security, your boys in FBI. Those are your main drags now, man. Those are your main drags. And so they're putting it to where Congress has absolutely no say so. And your boy Mike Johnson ain't helping out at all.
Not at all. Not at all.
So, and the thing he said as far as the Trump and his corruption compared to Biden, and that's the thing that, man, when he said basically the reason why they're calling, quote unquote, Biden them the crime family, because they did everything behind curtains, but Trump is doing everything up front So I guess he's saying open corruption is different than corruption behind curtains.
I guess open corruption is good.
It's good. I mean, it's better. I mean, like, dude, this really came out your mouth, right? So is you watching, man, again in Twilight Zone? This here you've never seen and will never see nothing like this again, man. You going from bad to worse, bro.
Bad to worse.
You going from bad to worse.
We got 3 more years of this.
If y'all can hold it together, because right now y'all unraveling at the seams, man. That thread is real thin, player.
Yes,
so
sir.
I don't know. I don't know how y'all gonna make it to the next election. Because this cat here, prayer, supplication, and Jesus.
Amen to that, my brother.
Yeah, but
here we go. Now we putting all HBCUs on notice right now, right? Right?
Well, yeah, I went with one.
Me too. And y'all gonna listen to us on this one.
Go PC, bro. They ain't gonna listen to it.
They
got that.
They got
to.
Well, we gonna put it out there now. If you didn't listen to us, we be like, we tried to.
I hope so. I hope so, man. I hope so.
Now we got the first deal with Trump's HBCU executive order, which is kind of a controversial order called the Futures Law. Okay,
we got one.
I know, right? Oh, I had to dig for it. We had to dig for this one. Remember?
I know you did. Yes, sir.
So let's look at the Futures Law to see what the great HBCUs are getting from the Trump administration.
Go figure.
Go figure, right? Well, let's go ahead and run this beautiful beam footage here. All right. Now, what I want to go down to, Brother Wright, where it says, of course, President Trump signed the Futures Act into law, securing $255 million in permanent annual funding for HBCUs and increasing funding for federal Pell Grants, right? Now, there's about 106 HBCUs around this country. 106. So if you take 106 divided by 255 million, that's about $2.4 million per school. That's not a heck of a whole lot of money for a college or university.
No, about a 1 month expenditure,
right? Especially when FAMU just lost $16 million in the pharmacy department.
That's it.
Okay.
Yep, school pharmacy.
Okay. Then it says that President Trump authorized more than $100 million for scholarships, research, and centers of excellence at HBCU land grant institutions. Okay. So then you go to President Trump provided $322 million in hurricane-related relief to 4 HBCUs in 2018 so that they could fully focus on educating their students, right?
That's what it said.
That's what it said, right?
That's what it said, man.
But now, the question is, okay, who's the 4 schools that got this $322 million?
Yeah.
And when are they due to get this $322 million? Right?
That part.
And I found the answer.
I know you would, sir. I know you would. You're astute like that.
Astute like that. Here's the answer.
Yes, you are astute like that.
Here's the answer. That in the aftermath of the storms, Dillard University, Southern University at New Orleans, Tougaloo College, and Xavier University of Louisiana collectively borrowed more than $360 million through the HBCU Capital Financing Program in 2007.
Borrowed. Okay.
Borrowed.
Okay.
But now they were having problems paying that back. So the government gave them a 5-year reprieve back in 2013. But then the great President Trump came through in 2018 and said, okay, well, what we're going to do, we're going to forgive 322 million of the 360 million that you all borrowed from us. So that's how you get to the 322 million, quote unquote, that the government is giving the 4 schools.
That part.
So actually, the government is not giving those 4 schools 322 million. They're actually saying, okay, we forgive the loans that we're taking of 322 million.
Yeah, that y'all owe.
That's y'all
that
owe.
part.
Yeah. Yeah, that's y'all owe. Correct.
That y'all owe. Okay.
Now, when he signed this executive order, I was kind of puzzled about who was actually in the room when he signed it. Like, how many of us was, how many HBCUs is in the room and says, yes, we finally got our just due, right?
You said of us,
Sir,
right?
during your first administration, you made promoting historically black colleges and universities, HBCUs, a major priority. This executive order takes existing law on HBCUs and brings it into effect. We're going to be setting up a White House initiative on HBCUs. The basic idea here is making sure that every aspect of your administration is working to ensure that HBCUs are able to do their job as effectively and as efficiently as possible. Sir,
problem. There are no HBCUs in the room.
Nah. At least unless they change the requirements for HBCU. Player. It's sad, ain't it? But is it? Yeah, and when somebody got to tell you what you signing, that should scare the bejesus out of everybody in America. But obviously, it's fine now.
Right.
But like you were saying, Jay, going back to the funding, man, and you scratching across the gamut of 106 HBCUs. But when you're doing the research, man, they saying that HBCUs have been underfunded by $12 billion compared to your private white institution. So you're talking about $12 billion in the hole, and you're going to give a band-aid of $255 million. Okay,
which is about 2.4 million. Then if you look at the 100 million they can give you for research, that means about 944,000. So you're actually going to get probably about $2.6 million per school.
If that much.
If that much.
As my daddy would say, if you need 10 and you only got 1,
right,
you ain't gonna make a player. So that's what it is. That you ain't gonna make a player. So I mean, you can give somebody $2 million all you want, but if they need 100 million just for one school, now I ain't talking about across the board. I'm talking about just one school. Giving somebody $2 million and they need 100 to make this thing happen, it's pennies, man, and that's what you're doing. But again, when we smile and grin and be like, yeah, and then even when you're a black Confederate coalition up there in South Carolina, when they sign up on this mess, man,
right,
and do that stuff, and basically give about a pass because, again, like you're saying with the wording, it makes it looks as if you're actually putting money on the table, and actually all you're doing is shuffling it around on the same goddamn table.
Exactly,
and ain't nobody getting nothing.
No,
but that's the issue, man. And then again, you got to have HBCU presidents who know how to articulate this stuff, man, and get at it, because at the end of the day, bro, and it does have to come also from the alumni. I must admit now, the alumni at all HBCUs, we all guilty. But again, with that situation there, to our semi-defense,
yes,
And I do mean semi-defense.
Yeah.
But it's a dynamic of when you get out of college, man. Most of us, we've been scraping the bottom of the barrel since we got out of college. I mean, It took me 9 months, man, to find a job when I got out of school. So it's a dynamic one when you're regulating certain things. Sometimes, the alumni takes years to get traction, and when they finally do, they done in their 60s and 70s. And so it's like, dude, I want to give back, but I can't because I just don't have that kind of expendable cash. But if you would take it back to if the HBCUs were fully funded, man, you're talking about $12 billion on the table that they should have been funded already. And that number just keeps ticking up there, man, but they have not done anything about it. So I'm not saying where the happiness is. I don't see where you're signing off on this thing and being happy. So when you're looking at that dynamic, I would wish and pray that every HBCU president will really get on the horn, start saying something, man, because this is foul right here, man.
Yes, it's foul. It's truly foul.
Yeah.
And plus, this stirred something up in us because once we looked at the HBCUs, then we had to go here, where there's a major clash over the newly elected FAMU President Marva Johnson.
And good night.
And good night.
And good night. That's it.
And you start telling, I said, I heard about it. Yeah, I saw it. And then, but when you told me, it was like, bruh, she has no experience. I'm like, what you mean she has no experience? He was like, do your research and you'll see she has no experience. And then when I saw she didn't have any experience, but her baseline or base salary, she was actually asking for $750,000 as a base salary.
That part.
And I got to run this beautiful beam footage for y'all because you wouldn't believe it if I told you. You might say I'm lying on her, but I'm not going to lie on her. I'm going to run the footage so you can see it for yourself.
Marva Johnson comes in with years of experience in corporate lobbying as Group Vice President of State Government Affairs for Charter Communications. But she also came with baggage concerning her Republican Party affiliations and how they line up with FAMU's values. In her final interview with trustees Wednesday, Johnson said that experience will serve her well in securing funding from state government for FAMU. Board of Trustees Vice Chair Devron Gibbons agrees that's why he voted for her.
6% of the alumni are givers. Unfortunately, the rest of the money comes from the state. We're going to need somebody who can not only raise money, somebody who's going to have to take in mind that our students are our number one customer and constituent.
Gibbons was joined by trustees John Crossman, Natalie Figures, Emery Gainey, Kelvin Lawson, Nicole Washington, Michael White, and Faculty Senate President Jamal Brown. Brown defended concerns that President-elect Johnson has no educational experience, pointing to her time on the State Board of Education. He believes Johnson will keep FAMU afloat.
If we want to win, we must compete. And to compete, we need strategy, we need funding, and we need leadership that can deliver both.
But Johnson's candidacy has been blasted by the FAMU community. Board Chair Kristen Harper shared that over 800 stakeholders submitted evaluations of Johnson after her campus visit, nearly double the total number of responses to all other candidates combined.
Many respondents also questioned her preparedness, depth of understanding, and authenticity, expressing fears that her leadership could jeopardize the university's legacy and values.
Yet the board still voted in Johnson's favor. The four who didn't: trustees Craig Reed, Belvin Perry Jr., student body president Zayla Bryant, and Chair Harper. They voted for current Chief Operating Officer Dr. Donald Palm. Harper says her decision reflected what the community wanted.
And my vote will be in alignment with the will of students, the will of alumni, the will of most faculty and staff, the will of this community in Tallahassee.
Trustees also voted to delegate contract negotiations with Johnson to Trustee Washington, a job that normally is up to the board chair. A salary range of $450,000 to $750,000 has already been approved. In her application, Johnson requested a base pay of $750,000. Johnson's nomination is still subject to interview and confirmation by the Florida Board of Governors. The BOG is next scheduled to meet on June 18th at Florida Atlantic University.
Okay.
Jay.
Yes, sir.
I'm going to exercise my right
Mm-hmm.
to leave this country and come back when y'all get some sense. Cause no, man. This sister, this sister again has no higher education experience. Okay, that's top tier. Second tier, she doesn't have advanced degrees. Now, I'm not saying that has anything to do with, but I mean, she doesn't have advanced degrees. So you're talking about doctorate, yada yada yada. She hasn't even been an adjunct professor, so she hasn't even taught on the college level. Yet you're going to stick this woman inside of the prison's office with all the issues that's going on with HBCUs, all the issues going on with outside funding. But the key thing is the reason why she's in there, because Given said it, even Brian said it. This thing is driven by money, man. They're looking for somebody to raise money. And that is what that woman went in with, that because she's a part of the clique with the scientists and all that she can get y'all more state funded. Well, if that's going to be the call, man, you're going to know just like they did what they did in HBCUs in Mississippi and everywhere else. When the state starts fucking over more money, they're going to want more control over your books. They're going to want more control over as far as, how you run the institution. And so that's where you're going with this, man. And the only way to get inside these HBCUs is through the dollars. And so that's when you start making that your main thrust, that you're selecting somebody based on, quote unquote, how much money she's raised or can raise. My question to you is, I want to see how much money this woman has raised for other institutions that she's been involved in. That's all I'm saying. If that's the criteria, how much has she raised? That part right there. And again, if you just lost 16 million as it relates to your school of pharmacy because of the cuts Trump just did, so you already in the hole that we know 16 million, not even to bring it to account the other millions that you lost, just 2 years ago dealing with the fiasco, all this stuff, man. So it's like, where you going with this, man? Where you going with this? But this is your people. This is your cousins and your nephews.
Let me tell you what the qualifications come up. She's a Republican.
One.
And then she's connected with Santos. And of course, Trump.
Three.
So what they're depending on, since she's got these ties to them, that they can get a flow of funding to help them continue to afloat. They're trying to play the game.
Okay, how?
But kiss the ring and play the game.
You playing it with Stewart? I'm just saying. Okay, I know you don't
think you can go through Johnson. You think you can go through Johnson to get to either DeSantis or Trump? You think that?
Okay. Ben Carson tried that.
Exactly.
Omarosa tried that.
Exactly.
I mean, just pick one. I mean, if you, because we ain't got the minute as it relates to black folks in that circle. But
they say since we don't know how to do it, or we can't. It seems like we can't do it. Let's just play the game, and to see how far we can get to where FAMU could be put place like as the example of all HBCUs.
Okay, I'm gonna take that angle. I'm gonna take the angle that you just said. Okay.
Okay.
I'm gonna follow you as we rolling and see can I get the odds. Just on that road you just put me on.
Now you ain't gonna get the odds. I'm telling you, you ain't gonna get there.
I'm just saying.
Okay, go ahead.
But now, if you look at every and if the board did, If you look at every single instance where you had a quote unquote African American somewhere in the mix dealing with Trump or whomever, even DeSantis, if you look at it, they didn't fare too well. Donaldson, you name it, they did not fare too well at all.
Yeah.
Just look at when they pulled that stunt as far as Atlanta and the barbershop when that guy they called in and Trump calls in.
Yeah.
Okay, so so I'm just saying, if you follow the other big role player, you just got clear evidence that these cats care nothing for you. Period. I don't care what color of hue you are. If you're not considered in that particular class, now I'm not talking about color, I'm talking about that class. If you're not in that class, then you don't qualify for nothing. And they made that perfectly clear. So FAMU, if you're going to pull Marva in this, that gal right there, I'm not, I'm trying to be very careful with my words, but that gal right there is only a plant for DeSantis. That's all she is, man.
That's it.
That's all she is. And
I agree.
At the end of the day, man, you cannot tell me based on FAMU, based on FAMU and where FAMU is sitting in Tallahassee, that's not prime property and that's not prime real estate and that's not prime lookout for whoever and whenever. And that's what this mess is going, man.
Exactly.
But if your board can't see that, that's the whole issue, man. If you have a situation where a board member just came on that same day, that very same day they took the vote, a board member was elected. That board member was allowed to vote. And obviously she went with Marva. You can't make this up, player.
Right.
You can't make this up. How can somebody who got on the board the very same day get a vote?
But you see the president of the college, gave her kudos.
Cause Jay, come on, man. It's like we did in the fraternity.
Trump already said to you, what you got to lose?
Oh, I can tell you what we got to lose, but we just lost 16 million fooling around with you. We just lost 16 million fooling around with you.
Right.
And the other thing about it, man, you saw that little Miss Linda standing behind, who's the Secretary of Education, who said they're getting ready to dismantle the Department of Education, who also said they're looking at all these quote unquote DEI programs. And I don't know how much more DEI you can get with black folks.
I don't know either.
So I mean, if you look at it, man, all this stuff is on the chopping block. And if they want to ever pull the carpet on certain things, they can, man, just by using a certain code word, which is DEI. And so HBCUs are in a quandary and they don't know it. But again, man, it comes back to alumni. It comes back to situations where those who have the wherewithal should be. And that's the cry for everything, man. I mean, if you look at
how does a Marva Johnson get the nod to be the president when she has no experience?
Because, man, it's the same old pony and dog show they give us. If you get this one, we give you that. Now we ain't gonna tell you when you're gonna get that.
Yeah.
And when you get that, it might not be what you need, but at least you got that. So we can do this all day, player. But that's what you're doing, man. Yeah, and it's pathetic when you're looking at the situation where HBCUs, man. And again, if you look at what Dr. Carver did as far as Tuskegee, man, should be like, like the top, bruh.
Top.
It should be top tier, man. Top tier with that man.
It should be up there with
That's what man did for Tuskegee, man. So if just on that alone, and I'm not just trying to elevate Tuskegee, but if you look at what Carver did as far as his research, yada yada yada, and those land grants things. So when you look into those dynamics, man, surely with all those contributions, those cats should have been up there on top tier, but you're not. And you got to ask yourself why. And so no, you can't compete when you're talking about research and whatnot. We were talking about this. You can't compete with an Emory.
No,
you don't have the technology or the apparatuses for that, man. You can't compete with these colleges, man. And so the studies or whatnot, even when they're quote unquote granted, they're not going to come to an institution who cannot actually do the research. That's why you get $100 million because they know you can't do nothing but do little $5 researchers and call it a day.
You call it a day, right?
See, the reason why Harvard is ticked off It's because those are research dollars. We're talking about billions of dollars in research money,
We're talking
man.
about like 90 billion, 90 million or whatever.
Holla at your boy.
We're talking about that.
That part. And that's just research dollars, man. That's not talking about tuition. That's not talking about Pell Grants. That's talking about research dollars, man.
But you see the two that's been paid. You see the two that has been paid off in that video.
And then, man, for the contracts to be shifted from the chair
to
this up. Who does that?
And then you gonna make a demand of a base of $750,000 and get it with no
qualification. Like I said, man, we're in the twilight zone. See, I fooled around here and listened to you. You told me if I'd be a good man and get a good education and all that good stuff, I can go far in life. So you lied to me, man.
Hey, bro, throw that all out the window.
The qualification should be. See, what I need is a man piece. That's the reason why I can't make it, man. I need a man piece. See, bald heads don't go nowhere. See, I need a man piece and I need a scandal. If I get them two things, man, I'll come up in the world, man.
You need to be orange.
Something. Be orange with a man piece, a scandal, and can lie and can fabricate on these resumes. That's what I need, man.
Yeah.
Because being honest just ain't working. Look, at least not for me. Now, I don't understand.
Look, so HBCUs, we telling you right now, here it come. Here it come down the line. They showing you what they about to do. They showing you their game plan right here. They're about to put plants in each one of them, and they're gonna suck it dry. I'm telling you.
Because they made it about money, man. They made it about money. You know, and truly enough, you can't survive without it. So you in a quandary. Either you take the full $5 handout and try to make it 2 or 3 days, you know, or try to keep struggling on your own. That's what it is, man. It's like, do you die by bullet or you die by water? I mean, that's what you're in. So that's what we're up against, man. Is they've created the climate, man. They created the atmosphere and the apparatus, bro.
Yeah, bro.
You deciding how you gonna die. You gonna die.
You gonna die.
You just gotta decide how you gonna die. It's gonna be a slow death or a quick one. Just let me know. We can set you up either way you want to go. But again, when you have institutions with these kind of boards, man, this is another Morris Brown 2.0. But like you said before, man, this is gonna be bigger than Morris Brown. But this is a Morris Brown. Yeah, this is a Morris Brown 2.0, man. Because when you're looking at, again, Tennessee, when you look at Mississippi, Jackson State over there in Mississippi, man, when you're looking at these cats, man, they're sitting on prime property, bro, and they know it.
You're looking at Howard.
They know it.
Yeah.
They know this stuff, man. And they're saying HBCUs are irrelevant, and so, but then when you pull them on the carpet in black and white, how they look on paper compared to these other institutions, you in trouble. You know, because you are, but it's because you have been underfunded by $12 billion. That's the thing, man. Nobody's dealing with the issue that you've been behind the 8 ball by $12 billion.
And how you gonna find an executive order about me and I ain't even in the room?
Ain't in the room. I think that's kind of disrespectful.
That's
just disrespectful. But that's what it is, man.
That's what it is. And
you have no seat at the table.
And they make you think you crazy.
That part.
They make you think you crazy. Now I got a wonderful beam footage right here. That that the senator asked a question at one of Trump's men. And it was a simple question. It was either yes or no, or just tell the answer. And he couldn't hardly get the answer. and here it is.
Who pays tariffs, Mr. Secretary? No. Answer the questions I asked, please. I only have 5 minutes. Who pays tariffs?
Sorry, well.
Who pays tariffs?
Sorry.
Mr. Secretary, please.
Excuse me.
The question is very simply, who pays tariffs, Mr. Chairman? I'd like him to answer that question.
Well,
He wants to answer other questions.
well, Congressman, if the exporters, they dislike tariffs so much, why wouldn't they, if, I think what you're trying to get me to say.
Did you remember the question? I'm not sure you did. Who pays tariffs?
It's a very complicated question.
Reclaiming my time. People pay tariffs, right? Reclaiming my time, Mr. Secretary. Reclaiming my time, Mr. Secretary. Reclaiming my time. You clearly aren't going to answer. I'm not going to waste my time having you go, Mr. Secretary, Mr. Chairman, I asked reclaiming my time, so I'll ask one more time. Who pays tariffs?
Sir, the history would show that it is a complicated mix of who pays the tariffs over various times.
So that's exactly the problem. If your answer, and you are a very educated person, you have a very impressive bio, cannot answer the question who pays tariffs because you won't answer that, and you say it's a complicated issue. It's not complicated. Consumers pay Trump's tariff tax. That's the reality.
That's what I mean. Just answer the question.
When Twilight Zone.
Who paid the terrorists?
That Jay. I'm gonna tell you something like my mom would say. The moment somebody take that gulp, the moment somebody take that gulp, you know they about to lie.
Yeah, they about to lie, bro.
No, they about to lie because that gulp let you know. Yeah, you try to come with something.
Bro, he was trying to think of the best lie.
Boy, that throat was trying to hold him. Look, don't tell it lie. Just don't tell it. But he was gonna tell it. Same thing with your second director of Homeland Defense. They told that baby flat out that she's about to run out of money before July.
Wait a minute. Hold on. You said what now? They told Homeland Security at the budget meeting. They said, "Baby, you about to run out of money before July. You about to break federal law." Okay.
I say this with seriousness and respect, but your department is out of control. You are spending like you don't have a budget. You're on the verge of running out of money for the fiscal year. You are illegally refusing to spend funds that have been authorized by this Congress and appropriated by this committee. You are ignoring the immigration laws of this nation, implementing a brand new immigration system that you have invented that has little relation to the statutes that you are required, that you are commanded to follow, as spelled out in your oath of office. You are routinely violating the rights of immigrants who may not be citizens, but whether you like it or not, they have constitutional and statutory rights when they reside in the United States. Your agency acts as if laws don't matter, as if the election gave you some mandate to violate the Constitution and the laws passed by this Congress. It did not give you that mandate. You act as if your disagreement with the law, or even the public's disagreement with the law, is relevant and gives you the ability to create your own law. It does not give you that ability. Let's start with your spending. You are on track to trigger the Anti-Deficiency Act. That means you are going to spend more money than you have been allocated by Congress. This is a rare occurrence, and it is wildly illegal. Your agency will be broke by July, over 2 months before the end of the fiscal year. You may not think that Congress has provided enough money to ICE, but the Constitution and the federal law does not allow you to spend more money than you have been given or to invent money. And this obsession with spending at the border, as the chairwoman mentioned, has left the country unprotected elsewhere. The security threats to the United States are higher, not lower, than when before Trump came to office. To fund the border, you have illegally gutted spending for cybersecurity. As we speak, Russian and Chinese hackers are having a field day attacking our nation. You've withdrawn funds for disaster prevention. Storms are going to kill more people in this country because of your illegal withholding of these funds. Your myopia about the border, fueled by President Trump's prejudice against people who speak a different language, has shattered many of this country's most important defenses.
That right there.
Daddy. Daddy. Thank God for Senator Murphy. Daddy. Hope he run for president for the next 3 years overdue. Hope you see that. But I mean, when you tell that part right there, bro. Now, That's the last thing you want to hear from your woman is you better you about to do some real legal, boy. You about to run out of money before the end of the month.
Yeah, exactly.
But when you tell the director of Homeland Defense that you about to run out, you about to break the law, you about to run out of money, and this is May, though. This is May. This is May.
By July.
By July,
you broke.
You gonna be broke.
You're gonna be
and
broke.
you're sucking money from other allocated funds to fund whatever kind of mandate you think you got with Trump and quote unquote the American people. And everybody's not MAGA. So I'm just trying to tell you, I don't understand. But this is what I'm talking about, man. When they tell you they are getting all these savings and all this stuff, they're not having any savings up there in with Doge. All they're doing is shifting money that's already been allocated other places. That's all they're doing, man.
That's it.
And they're
still the
same money, man. You just flipped it somewhere elsewhere. So again, black folk been doing this all this called robbing Peter to pay Paul. That's what they're doing.
But they robbing Peter and they ain't paying Paul nothing.
And then Paul like, look, don't come over here. You about to run out of money, baby. So, like we ain't got nothing over here either. So this is where you at, man. And so you had your boy doing this little race around Congress today, trying to get this big beautiful bill signed off on. Really? And I still don't understand how somebody who got the highest off in the land keep using all these superlatives like he's talking so big, this big beautiful bill. Like, dude, that's all you got.
That's all you got.
That's how you describe the bill that's going to fund your country as a big beautiful bill. It's going to be very, very good. I'm like, okay,
but
we're
right,
in trouble.
see, this is the thing.
But again, man,
when you start messing with people's lives, man, people start to get upset. Fuses start to get blown, man. I mean, like Representative Jermaine Johnson, man. He look. I just got to play this beautiful beam footage because he was just like, "Stop! Enough is enough. Just stop."
You don't like being called racist in here. You hate when we use the word racist. You hate being attacked. You hate when we bring up race and everything. But then when we have an opportunity to show that we're not racist, you let me down every time. Every time. And I sit here and we talk about our families, we talk about our kids, we go on trips together, and then we talk about not using our state dollars to go to white supremacy programs, and then we table it. You want to talk about some stuff? Let's talk about how they just took almost $7 million from the College of Charleston because they want to help black kids. Let's talk about it. Let's talk about all the amendments that are in the state budget right now to defund all the black programs that are going across the state. Let's talk about it. Let's talk about AP African American Studies that was banned from this state. Let's talk about it. Let's talk about the attacks that you got going on people who don't look like you. Let's talk about it. Why do we continuously do this to our kids? Why? What is it that you're doing? What are you showing your kids? That public funds can go to white supremacy programs? We just had an issue at USC where all those kids felt scared. Matter of fact, we just had the Patriot Front on our steps last week. What are we doing here? Tell me what we're doing. Don't try to explain to me, well, I thought it was this, or nah, it's that. Nah, Jermaine, we want to see equality. We give you an opportunity every single time. And here we go again. I was in the back, I was ready to go just like y'all are. But here we go. Every single time you get an opportunity to show us something different, you show us who you are.
All right, Jermaine, that's what they show you who they are. Bro, this ain't new. This been going on.
I know, right? Like, dude, what you get upset for? This has been going on for like centuries.
Right.
But now, man, again, now it's like it's supposed to happen. I mean, they've been blatantly, this is how it's supposed to be, and so we're going to show you how it's supposed to be.
Right.
And they can. And that's the damnable thing, man, is they have the power and the wherewithal to do it.
Right.
You know, they can pull funding from, again, like you were saying, you pull $7 million from the state charter because they're teaching black kids. You know, you ban AP African American studies. You ban that from the state. So
Right.
you could do that stuff
Mhm.
and have the wherewithal to do it. But black folks, you know, the moment you say anything in reference to, you know, white supremacy or whatnot, then here come you being a racist.
You
You're
being a
not.
racist.
You're trying to light the room up and da 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 da. That's the whole problem.
Yeah.
Again, if it's anything doing with the black experience, the moment a black person says anything about the black experience or actually turning the table on some things, then all of a sudden everybody represents to this fight, you know, to the death. But when it comes down to other folks being able to do what they're doing blatantly, pulling money from programs that supporting blacks blatantly, take out things as far as critical race theory, blatantly doing these things, then it's okay. You know, it's because there's funding that same ideology. Well, I commend Dr. Jermaine because he's finally saying something that people need to say in that space.
Right.
You know, we've been saying this stuff outside all day long.
Right.
It
All day
don't
long.
matter. Yeah, it's time for somebody inside that space, man, to start saying, you know, what y'all doing is not right. You know, and this is white privilege at its best. You know, and again, people who's in that space who can articulate it, and they should. But you run the risk of a lot of things when you finally do that. But King warned you of that. He said, you know, once you cross that line, you're not coming back.
You ain't coming
You know,
back. No.
King told you that.
No.
So I mean, but that's what these people are grappling with, man. I mean, you're trying to see, do you want to stay politically, you know, in that vein, or do you want to finally stand up for what you would put there for? And I don't think folks have that caliber. Just like Marva, I mean, I'm not trashing the sister, but if you know for a fact you don't have the wherewithal to even be in that space, why put your name there? You know, like if somebody come to me and say, "Can you fix my BMW?" I'm gonna be like, player.
No.
The same driveway you drove up in, you need to drive out that same driveway because you ain't gonna have a car when I get through with it. It's above my pay grade. But this is what I don't understand about folks, man, in that space when you take on things that you know that you don't have the wherewithal to handle. And there's nothing that says, you know, a Marva has that. There's nothing that shows that you can pull that kind of weight. Now, again, history proves itself. They did the same thing in South Carolina and it didn't go too well. They did the same thing trying to go outside the box.
Right.
Okay. So it's just those dynamics, man. And again, we hear that they've set the stage, Green, that everything is volatile.
Mm-hmm.
Everybody's set on edge.
Right.
And the one word would set their fuse off, man, and the rest is history. But that's what they want.
Yeah.
I mean, if you look at what they're heading toward, man, this is what they want, so that they can institute martial law.
Martial law.
When you're looking at what they signed already into law, man, or these executive orders, you know, that the military now can act on American soil. You're setting the stage.
Right.
You know, you're setting the stage for this mess, man. And so that's why I'm saying you got 3 more years and you don't know where it's going to land. But when you can follow Yellow Brick Road, bro, and you can put these dots together and you can see what they're connecting, yeah, it's volatile. Everything is on the edge, man. And it's purposely done that way so that if everything ever goes south, you know, the ones, quote unquote, who will have law and order on their side, you ain't gonna have none but emotions. Tell me who's gonna win. Yeah,
Right.
Tell me who's gonna win.
Emotions in jail time.
That's all you're gonna have.
It. That's all you're gonna have.
You ain't getting no $5 million settlement. I can tell you that now.
No, not for rioting.
So I'm gonna tell you that. Don't try it. You ain't getting no settlement. So
because all of a sudden now, hey, she's the martyr for the rioting.
That part you needed one.
For the love fest that you said it. So now Trump is painting this thing that, hey, look at this martyr. Look at this patriot.
Now, where that $5 million settlement coming from?
Boo, 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 from the taxpayers, my brother.
Oh,
from us.
See, I'm trying to figure out if it's my money that is going to be wrapped up in that. Shouldn't I have a say so?
Right. I wasn't in the settlement negotiations.
Me neither. I mean, dude.
Exactly.
You can't make this. I'm telling you, man, we're in the Twilight Zone.
That's it, bro.
I'm gonna take Max. I'm gonna see what me and the Lord can work out. She gonna have an Enoch experience, man.
Uncommon sense. Uncommon sense.
Yeah, man.
We better wake up. Because I'm telling you, ooh-wee. It's all about policy, y'all. I'm telling you, it's about policy. Whatever they can put in policy, they can control.
That's it.
Why you think he keep going to the Supreme Court? Policy. That's why. So that he can control, so that he can run it, so that he can do what, quote unquote, he can do it legally now.
Mm-hmm.
They already told you they changed from the white robes to the black robe.
Last time I checked,
some
of them ain't got no. Some of them got no robes, man. They walking around just like whatever.
Uncommon sense every Tuesday at 7:00 p.m. right here on thetruevision.net and since-you-asked.com. And also on YouTube, everywhere we can be. Jay Howard and Michael B. Wright Sr. We're signing off tonight. But look, y'all, when you see some uncommon sense, just settle down and make sense out of it. All right? Talk to you next week.